A big problem that I have right now with the gacha gaming community as a whole is how they treat creators. It's really weird. Main point being is that I know the real issue that Wuthering Waves has as toxic of a community as it is. There are issues right now within the Zenless space where you have a large abundance of viewers migrating to Zenless, and they're not watching from a supportive standpoint. Zenless is getting talked about right now for all the wrong reasons. Game's bad. It's too mashy. It's not good. Can't get what I want. I don't want to spend money on the game. No one should spend money on this game. They're hate watching. It's the same reason that all these shows on Netflix kind of like blow up, is because they're hate watching whatever. So in this particular case, when it comes to Zenless, a lot of the community is hate watching. Now you get into a little bit deeper of what's going on. Who is hate watching? The obvious answer is not Zenless players, right? People that are in the Zenless are not hate watching, so you can remove them from the equation. Now you look at who else is there. You have Genshin Impact, Wuthering Waves, and Honkai Star Rail. I'm gonna tell you what, Honkai Star Rail players are not hate watching Zenless. They're either playing another game or they're playing Star Rail. That's it. They don't do that, right? They're not hate watching anything else. So now we can bump them out of the equation. You now have Genshin and Wuthering Waves, and this is where it gets tricky. I call these particular players Neo Genshin whatever, right? The Neo Genshin community. What does that mean? Genshin Impact, from what we know, if you've been around the Genshin Impact community for a long time, or even experienced it for a little bit, you know that the Genshin Impact community has a renowned, they're infamous for being toxic. They're infamous for being super toxic, right? Which is fine, to their own bubble. Keep the toxicity within your own bubble, leave it there. They bleed out into everyone else's bubble. Genshin, that toxic side, not all of Genshin Impact community, but that particular toxic side is super anti anything Genshin. Well, recently Wuthering Waves came out. Wuthering Waves also had to deal with the Genshin Impact toxicity, right? The community's toxicity. Oh, why would you play Wuthering when Genshin is the better game? Genshin has all these things that Wuthering is copying from. You know, Wuthering is actually a copycat of Genshin, right? You know, Genshin's getting endgame too. Did you know that Genshin Impact is actually super free-to-play friendly? You can get whatever character you want. All you have to do is play the game for 364 days. That's not hard at all. I've played this game for at least 727 days, so you could do 300. No problem whatsoever. Oh, you wanted... It's too much, okay? So there's all these reasons why they were Genshin versus Wuthering. Wuthering comes out. Wuthering does super good. Wuthering has a very positive reception to the community, whether that be from Wuthering players, Star Rail players, people waiting on Zenless that are trying Wuthering, or Genshin Impact players. Whatever it was, Wuthering had a great launch. I think people misunderstand how quickly Kuro was able to recover on Wuthering Waves. Wuthering Waves would have hit the fucking tank. They would have sunk if they didn't do what they did. They needed to give us free pulls, the free character selector, the weapon banner. There was a lot of things Wuthering had to do to stay afloat and then get to, hey, now we can swim on our own. We're chilling. We're good, which is wonderful, because now we get, now we can pay attention to the things that matter. Now you don't hear people talking about, bro, Wuthering Wave has no story. The story's ass. No, what do you hear now? This story is fire. Did y'all see that thing with Jinxie and the dragon? Yo, that was clean. Did you see the new thing with Chain Li? Yo, that was fire. That's what they're talking about. Now we have all the positives about Wuthering Waves. Oh, the combat's great, bro. The combat is perfect. I'm gonna talk about that in a bit too, because that pisses me off. Combat's great. Cool. Now we can get into the problems. And I'll go over, like, because I just started the game again, so I'm gonna try it out and see where it goes. But 1.1 was supposed to fix a lot of issues. The original reason that I stopped playing the original reason I stopped playing Wuthering Waves isn't because I don't like Wuthering Waves. It's because I felt like it was not respectful of my time. If a game doesn't respect my time, I don't want to play it. I don't want to spend money on it. I don't want to play it. I don't want to do anything with it. Why? Simply because it's too time. Like, I don't have all the time in the world, especially as a content creator. I need to make content, plan content, record content, edit content, send it off to get edited, anything of the sort. I have to do all of that. If a game semi requires me to be on the game for X period of time, X period being hours, in order to get what I need from it, it becomes a problem. Now, you'll ask yourself, well, you don't have to grind for echoes. You don't have to grind for the perfect stats. You don't. But as a content creator, it's almost mandatory, especially given the fact that Kuro, despite everyone that is a content creator being in Kuro's ear, and I mean everyone, no one's under NDA, so I can openly say this. Me, Tectone, Legions, Fob, Zox, anybody, everyone who had any form of connection to Kuro told them, you need to do this thing that Hoyoverse does, which is give creators some type of early access or media server, or you need to do something to give it to them so that they can make good content without feeling like they're rushed on the main game, like on the actual live server. What does Kuro do? We don't want to do that. Nah, we don't want to do that. In fact, we want you to make an ad. We'll pay certain people, we'll pay an ad for. We'll give y'all some ads. We'll pay for the ads. But you can't use this footage for anything but this one 30-second ad. If we see that the ad or this footage is in a guide video, clapped. Copyright strike. No. So no one does anything. It's a problem. So not on top of like how they rushed out the Yinlin banner, which I don't think was a bad and a good thing, right? It's like kind of neutral. But on top of all these things that happen, content creators having these issues and not respecting my time, that's where I say it becomes a problem for like me in particular. So that's what I say. I understand that people who were already playing the game didn't really care. Like, oh, I spend the game, I play the game all day. It's fine, whatever. Me, I'm not playing the game all day. I have to play the game and then get shafted on RNG. And it's different for, they're two sides of the same coin, right? They're both evil in a way. For instance, Star Rail, I could spend all that resources or all the stamina grinding for relics and just not get what I'm looking for. In Wuthering, I can grind for echoes all day and eventually get the main stat that I'm looking for. But then when I roll it, it won't be there, right? Let's say that it takes you 7 hours. For whatever reason, it takes you 7 hours to find a crit rate, main stat crit rate on whatever boss you're looking for. You roll it and the bitch goes all flat stats. You just wasted 7 hours. You cannot get those 7 hours back. The concept of time doesn't exist to certain people in the community, certain groups of community, right? Y'all are saying just roll better, you're trolls, but it doesn't exist to certain folks within the community. You guys are saying roll better. It's not about rolling better. It's about time, the respecting of time. Getting lucky and not being lucky has nothing to do with like an answer, right? The answer cannot be just roll better or get lucky. The problem is time. You need to invest time, no matter how long it takes, into getting whatever it is that you're looking for. Now you get into the resource requirement for being able to do this stuff. How many resources do I need per character? How many resources do I need per weapon? How limited am I on leveling up these characters? We've all seen it. We've all seen the complaints going from, what is it, level 40 or tacit level 35 to 40 or 40 to 50, and the rewards don't increase. Hey man, instead of getting 2 of the rewards, you get 3 of the rewards. That's a big jump, right? 2 to 3, that's a huge jump right there, bro. I think that's a great jump. Psych, not really. It's horrible. It's not good for the time invested. The time spent is not rewarded for, or the time spent is not equal to whatever it is that you're getting back. So it's not good. All right. The problem, like I said, is time. But that's a me thing. Diminishing returns. Thank you. There's too many diminishing returns on the time invested. Now we get into the big boy problem. And again, that was just me explaining. It's a long-winded version of me explaining why I stopped making or stopped playing Wuthering Waves. Why I stopped making content. Very similar to what happened with me making Zenless Zone Zero content. Some people think that I just magically appeared out of nowhere, right? There are some people who already knew who I was. Then there's a whole different section of like people from Wuthering Waves or Genshin or whatever that have no idea who the fucking EO is. And they just assume, hey man, this motherfucker used to make fighting game content and he hasn't made fighting game content in 9 years. He's a loser. How did he blow up in Zenless? What does he know about the gacha game community? Who is he? They don't know who that. That's that section, okay? What's funny is I made Wuthering Waves content before I even touched Zenless. Not like obviously before the beta, but I mean like when the game officially came out, I was making Wuthering Waves content on my main channel, and I liked it. I was having fun. I was discovering new stuff, and I thought a lot of this stuff was like tech, right? The negative edging, the card canceling, things that the community uses today, I helped discover in Wuthering Waves. I helped put it and spread it, whatever the case may be, right? Because I have what? Fighting as a fighting gameplay. Anyway, point being is that I helped do that. The same things that I was doing for Zenless, I was doing for Wuthering Waves. Then I got met with what is now happening with Zenless, I got hit with in Wuthering Waves. Why are you calling things fighting game terms? What's a negative edge? That no. Hey, no, stop. That's not whatever you just called it. That's not a negative edge. Wuthering Waves created that. They put that in the game. They created that function. That's not a negative. We're not gonna call that negative edge. Stop making up stupid mumbo jumbo fighting game terms because you want to seem smart and cool. That this is from Wuthering Waves. Kara what? No, bro, that's just a basic animation cancel. All you have to do is press 1. That's a basic animation cancel, brother. All you have to do is press 1. Fighting games didn't come up with animation cancels. They didn't come up with cancels, bro. Nope. Switch what? Switch tech? You mean swap back? Oh yeah, no. You guys didn't come up with that. Swap back was originated from Wuthering Waves. Day -57, we knew about the swap back. What? Aerial combos? Oh, you mean air combat? From Devil May Cry? Oh no, Marvel didn't do that, bro. No, Marvel didn't create tag assist combos. No, that was Devil May Cry, which originated and heavily inspired Wuthering Waves, by the way. You're so stupid, bro. You think everything's from fighting games. You think Wuthering Waves didn't come up with all this stuff on their own? Wuthering Waves is the originator of everything. These are the comments that I received when I created Wuthering Waves content and then put it out there. When I pushed the same type of content that I'm pushing for Zenless, I pushed it for Wuthering first. And I got the most flack for doing that. We don't care about whatever this tech is. Why would we do this when we could just mash G on square into ult, into square, and then kill the enemy? What's the purpose of juggling enemies when you can't juggle the boss? Does that sound familiar? Why would I sit there and treat the enemy like a training dummy, like a practice dummy, when I can't do it on the boss? None of this matters in in-game. None of this matters in in-game. We're only week 3, or we're day 3 in the game. Guys, we're day 3 in the game. Day 3 in the game. No one's at in-game yet, but I promise you none of this matters in in-game. Mob, CC control, crowd control on the mobs, none of that matters in in-game. The only thing that matters is hologram fights. Whatever its Tower of Adversity it is, nope, doesn't matter. Now, if I call people fucking idiots, I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. So, what I decided to do was I said, you know what? I'm going to keep whatever I discover to my inner circle. And that's exactly what I did. Anything that was discovered or shown to me as tech, I kept to my inner circle. There are still things that Wuthering Waves players just don't do that would significantly benefit the way they play the game. They don't do it. Why? Because they don't think about doing these things outside of the box. They wait for someone else to tell it to them. A big old creator has to make brand new tech discovered in Wuthering Waves. Do this now to improve your damage by 45.7%. Now we get into the problem. I've explained to you why I stopped playing Wuthering Waves, why I stopped making content for Wuthering Waves, both being the community. Well, I guess the first one isn't really the community, it's the game, but still the community. And now we get into why this is happening again with Zenless Zone Zero. The problem with everything going on right now is, as I mentioned earlier, the Neo Genshin player, okay? The Neo Genshin Impact people, whatever. The Neo Genshin community has infested the Wuthering Waves community. As much as someone doesn't want to hear it, the Wuthering Waves community is the Neo Genshin community. A large majority of Wuthering Waves people that are toxic within the community are just Genshin Impact players in disguise. They are just Genshin Impact players who left Genshin Impact to infest the lands of Wuthering Waves. And now they are being just as toxic as they were with Genshin Impact to any other game. They are treating Wuthering Waves like their Genshin Impact. This is the holy game. Nothing can be better than Wuthering Waves. I've invested my blood, sweat, and tears, no money into the game. Nothing is better than Wuthering Waves. That's how they treat this. So now they attack any and everything else. The reason that Zenless Zone Zero people, anyone that says, I like Zenless, it's cool, what's the first thing out of somebody's mouth? I guarantee if you put 5 people in a room, if you put 5 random gacha players in a room, and the one person on screen says, I think Zenless is cool, 3 out of those 5 people are gonna say, but what about Wuthering? What about Wuthering? You don't like Wuthering Waves? You like Zenless, but you don't like Wuthering Waves? Motherfucker, I didn't even mention Wuthering Waves. Yeah. But you said you like Zenless, so you should also say that you like Wuthering Waves. In fact, you should say Wuthering Waves is better. Here, let me show you. Let me show you my account. Did you know Wuthering Waves? Did you know Wuthering Waves has 75 free pulls? They don't lie. Hey man, Zenless Zone Zero said that you can get 180 free pulls. You can't. You Wuthering Waves? Hey bro, we got like 767 pulls day 1. You should play Wuthering Waves. In fact, I already made you an account. Go ahead and play with. Hey, donate some money. Play Wuthering Waves. They put all of this time and energy into being toxic to anyone else that does not shill for Wuthering Waves. What happens with this, and this is why I said earlier, I know the reason the Wuthering Waves community is the way it is. This is gonna sound really egotistical, and I don't mean this as egotistical as it's gonna sound, but I want to make this message very clear, okay? And we're still gonna talk about the Wuthering Waves combat thing. Wuthering Waves community, the Neo Genshin community, does not have a me. What I mean by that, you don't have someone who's actually passionate about making content for your game. Someone that is putting out content daily or bi-daily, bi-weekly, whatever term you want to use. They're not putting out consistent content to lift your game up. They don't have one. They don't have multiple. The Neo Genshin community, Rexlent doesn't count. I knew someone was gonna say Rexlent. No shot to Rexlent whatsoever. Rexlent makes great content. Rexlent is not a primary Wuthering Waves creator. Rexlent makes content for him. He makes content for him. This content that he makes is not for the community. This is because he likes to make this type of content, and he's already gathered a community from PGR that likes his content. Let's look at these videos real quick. Peak Combat, Jianshin versus Crownless, Hologram 6, Wuthering Waves. Now, I ain't even gotta look at the thumbnail. I know Rexlent. I watch his content. S6, level 90. How many of y'all have that? No, you don't have that. You don't have that. How to Jinsei, Wuthering Waves, Crash Course. This ain't a guide. This ain't a guide. I know it's not a guide. He about to tell you how to do the fucked up shit with Jinsei. It's cool as hell to do it. You can't do it though. Brought S6 R5 Jinsei to Hologram 6. That's not relatable. That's not, where is my top 5? Where is the best character to do whatever? Where is my think pieces on why I think Jianshin is the best character in the game? It's not here. Then let's just give it a pass. Let's say that Rexlent did give this type of content, right? Guess what? You have one. Out of everyone that makes content, you have one creator who's making content for Wuthering Waves that is actually relatable or beneficial to the entire Wuthering Waves community. Everything else falls under, and no shot to my, I love me some drama, bro, but no shot. Everything else falls under the category of drama, news, or updates. You said Skull J? Nope, you're right. No, you're right. This is your real one. This is your real one. This is your real one. The one. He is the me for Wuthering. Skull is your, I'm looking at the content, I don't even have to watch it. This is your real one. Doggos makes great content, but he's not exclusive to Wuthering Waves. Doggos is on Star Rail, he's on Zenless, he's on Wuthering. Doggos just makes great content, period. He loves playing games, but he's not exclusive to one game. There's another smaller creator, Jiru, or something. The fact that you said or something proves my point. Instead of the Wuthering community attacking anyone else that doesn't play Wuthering Waves, y'all should be lifting up anyone that's smaller. It's the same thing that happened with not Starro. The same thing that happened with Zenless was happening with Wuthering. Where with Zenless, when Zenless came out, what was a lot of stuff going on, right? Should you play Zenless? Zenless Zone Zero is a bad game. Look, I love Emmy, right? This game sucks for me, awful. And I know this video is, she's not even saying it's bad. Emmy's not even saying the video is bad, but I'm pointing out the type of content that exists instead of the content that would be super beneficial to the community. Wuthering Waves had the same issue when it first came out. When it first came out, guess what I was putting out? Same stuff that I was doing with Zenless. Don't fall for this free-to-play trap. That was the first video for Wuthering. Boom, takes off, right? My issue with team building and Wuthering, I could go in this comment section right now and people are trying to flame me. Hey, man, I don't think you played the game. I don't think you played the beta. In fact, I don't think you know what you're talking about. Did you know that intro-outro skills were the best part of team building? What part of what I said about team building and how it feels pointless because 1, 2, 3 didn't you hear? Why are you talking to me about something that I didn't even reference? What are we talking about here? Yeah, but I feel like if you just did this instead of what you're trying to do, then you would think like me and you would do this instead. I don't want to do that. I want a team. It's a team-based game. I want to play the team. Yeah, but who cares? Like, I would rather solo the hologram with one character because I think that's fun than go solo it. That's on you, not on me, right? But let's continue. I digress. Top 3 characters to pick from your free selector. Ranking every Wuthering Waves character. Everyone does tier list, right? 5 free star, these are the free 5 stars targeted on the beginner banner. Every video that I did for Wuthering, I just did it for Zenless. The difference is all of these videos, while positively received by one section of a community, there's double, if not triple that in people telling me, we don't want that, doesn't matter. We don't like that shit. It got worse whenever this video dropped. The broken new tech, unlock new combos. When I dropped this video, I became public enemy #1 for Wuthering Waves. So it's funny to me with Zenless how people have done this crazy ass flip-flop. They've gone from, damn, we don't really fuck with EO because he's bad in Wuthering Waves. Like we don't like that he's trying to push on cool tech, combos, juggling enemies, fighting game terminal. We don't like that. Okay, hey, you got it. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go somewhere else. I'm gonna go do something else. Now that I'm doing something else somewhere else, hey man, that's bullshit. Why aren't you doing this for Wuthering Waves? The obvious better game with combat. You know Wuthering Waves has negative edge, by the way. I'm telling you this like a literal quote. I have an exact quote in my YouTube comments and in my tweets. I'm not going through tweets because y'all seen Twitter, but you know, I have the exact quote. You know that Wuthering Waves is actually the combat intensive high tech game. In fact, if you like fighting games, why aren't you playing Wuthering Waves? You know it has negative edge, right? We have negative edge and we have cancel animations and we have jump combos and I swear to Sephiroth, all I did was ask this dude a question. I never got a response. You know, I'm the guy that put negative edging on the map for y'all, right? Like GBG showed it to me and then I signal boosted the fuck out of it and explained what it was. You know, I did that, right? You know that's me, right? No. It's in Wuthering Waves. I swear to you, bro. You could just read the Wuthering Waves tutorial and it tells you that negative edge is in the game. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. V, don't worry about it. Don't worry about what a negative edge is. I'm not explaining it. I've already explained it. Go watch the video. Go watch the video. I'm not explaining it. I'm not explaining that. I'm not explaining card canceling. I'm not explaining jump cancels. No. Yeah, I'm not doing none of that. All right. Back to the point about Wuthering. Y'all need more of him. And I truly do hope. I truly do hope that y'all help him go boom. His views are already up there. They're booming. You guys need more of him. Find more of the skulls and get more skulls in your community. There's no reason you guys are exerting, and not obviously people in chat, but the Neo Genshin community that is festering Wuthering Waves. Stop using your energy to go after people that are not even, you don't even care about Zenless. Most of the complaints or talk about Zenless are from people that aren't playing the game. Go away. This is why I made the claims that I do when I talk about this stuff, right? I'm not gonna bitch about something that I'm just not giving my time. If I'm not into the game, like, you don't hear me bitch about Genshin Impact. Why? Because I don't play it. I'm not gonna be sitting here and everybody's fucking, Mr. Green Slime Man, did you know that I hate Genshin Impact? And you should too. If you were to play a game called Zenless Zone Zero, did you know you could actually get jump combos? Yeah, we're getting a new character. They're gonna have jump combos. Did you know that? You should stop playing Genshin. You should stop playing Genshin. Here's why in my thesis paper on that. Leave it in your comment section down below. Just go gas up the Zenless dude. Go find a creator already making the content that you want and then gas it up. If it doesn't exist, make it exist. There are plenty of Wuthering Waves content creators that started out and may have stopped. I can't tell you that because I don't even watch the stuff no more, right? And you know, rock harder. Wait. We're not gonna dog on Hex because Hex is a prime example of like the right thing to happen. We can even, this video is already 30 minutes, but I'll explain it. Yeah, and Sarah. Now, if I were to tell you there's no content in Wuthering Waves, I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy, right? Hey man, how could you say that Genshin Impact was a better game than Wuthering Waves? I never said that, by the way, but I'm just gonna take that quote. Let's compare and contrast. What can I do in Wuthering? What can I do in Genshin? What can I do in Zenless? What can I do in Wuthering? What can I do in Nikke? What can I do in Wuthering? What do you do in Wuthering whenever there's no new story? When you finish a story, what do you guys do? There's a particular word, and you can mint picking. I wasn't gonna use that term, but we can use that term. I was gonna think of grinding, right? Building characters, farming, echo farming all day. Yep, you're grinding. When you have no story content in Wuthering Waves, you pop on dailies, you get off. You go grind and you get off. It's worse if, like, for instance, Rihu, right? Rihu happened to get the Gensi build that he was looking for like 2 weeks early. Done. He finished his Gensi build like 2 weeks early or something like that. Guess what he did for 2 weeks? Log on to the game, do dailies, log off. Log into the game, do dailies, log off. Log into the game, do dailies, log off. No time was spent on that game whatsoever. I'm not running through the world. There's no events I care about. There's no new side quests. There's no events. Co-op in the game is ass. There's nothing to fucking do. So when I said the overworld experience in Genshin Impact compared to Wuthering Waves is better, L take. Wuthering's so great. Wuthering's the best game in the, Wuthering's good, bro. Wuthering's awesome. Wuthering is a great game for what it presents. The overworld experience, Wuthering is not, it's nowhere near my top 3. Wuthering's overworld experience is not good. And for those that need to hear it both in chat and in the video, overworld experience does not mean exploration. I don't give a fuck if I can zip line in a game or use a jetpack, because if we're keeping it a buck, Tower of Fantasy beats both of them. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Tower of Fantasy smokes both of them if we're talking about exploration. That's not what I'm referring to. Overworld experience is what can you do in the overworld that keeps you in the game for X period of time. I should be able to play a game if I'm caring about the overworld and never think about time. I should forget to take my dog out. I forgot to eat 2 times. I didn't pee today, and I forgot to go to sleep. Like, all things possible should happen in a good overworld experience. Great example of this, Breath of the Wild, Minecraft. These have overworld experiences that you get lost in time. I don't get lost in time with Wuthering. I don't get lost in time with Genshin Impact now, but when it came out, right, year 1, everyone got lost in time. That was a big problem with Genshin Impact. That's why certain laws got put in place, was because of the amount of time you could sink into a gacha game. Elden Ring, you can get lost in Elden Ring, absolutely. You said I'm comparing huge projects to gacha. I'm comparing overworlds, overworld experience. I don't give a fuck if it's a gacha game or not. Time does not care if it's a gacha game. That's something that people need to let go. Oh man, it's a gacha game. It's a gacha game. And I'm not like taking a shot at you, AJ, because you're not the only one that says this. There were tons of people that were saying this on Twitter when I said it. It's a gacha game. You can't do that. Gacha games are completely different. No, they're not. They both take time. I give 5 hours to one game or 5 hours to another game. Whatever game it is, does not all of a sudden make the 5 hours cost more. They still costed 5 hours. It's different. Oh man, well, you spent $60 on a AAA game. Of course it's gonna have the better experience. I spent $60 in game in a gacha game and the same amount of time, and I have a worse overall experience. I can always get money back. You can always get money back. I can't get time back. Your experience and what you sink time into, what you invest time into, is probably the most important thing, especially when it comes to gaming. You cannot get it back. Wuthering Waves has horrible time investment in comparison to the other games that are like that game. Now we can move forward with like the combat real quick, right? Because I know it seems like I'm bashing on Wuthering. I am, but not like the game itself. I'm mostly bashing on the community because I don't want this to be taken like as a fucking I hate Wuthering. I don't. I like Wuthering. I love the combat in the game. The thought that when I said I like Zenless because 1, 2, 3, and then people heard, oh, so you hate Wuthering. That's not what I said. I didn't say anywhere close to that. Yeah, but you didn't say you love Wuthering more than Zenless, so you hate it. That's not what I said. I like both games, and we should all be mature enough. You can like multiple games. I can say the flaws in both games. Well, you're not bashing Zenless. You're only talking positively. You're only praising Zenless. Because Zenless does a lot of good that I like. So I'm going to praise it. The criticism that I have for Zenless is being compiled in a list so that I can send it to Zenless' survey team. And then I'll make a video with all my criticisms on what I feel like should change going into at least 1.2. I will not participate, just like I didn't do it with Wuthering. I'm not going to participate in bashing a game as soon as it comes out because it's the hot thing to do. I'm not going to give my opinion on a game in a fully in-depth, like this is my final verdict on the game, and it just came out. I really have to hate that game. The shit y'all say for shock factor, you don't need to. Anyhow, moving forward, Wuthering's combat is great. It's not perfect. I don't think there's a perfect gacha game with combat in it. Wuthering Waves is not a perfect game for combat. There are issues with Wuthering Waves combat, just like there are issues with Zenless's. You said I would agree that it's better than Zenless? No. Nope. Nope. And I can prove it. Especially after getting back on Wuthering today, it's not better. They're both satisfying in their own rights, and they both have positives to their game. And they also have negatives to their game. But it is not the best. Wuthering has some amazing aspects in the combat system to it, but it's not the best. The reason I say it's not the best is simply because of the fact that while, yes, I can do my parries and I can do my basic attacks into a parry, and the enemies feel much more alive, they feel aggro, they feel like they're monsters, they really want to kill me, right? I love that shit. I love things that are like Souls-born games. The game is trying to punish you. I love that shit. Wonderful. Keep that in the game. Actually amp it up. Amp it the fuck up. I want Wuthering to be my Dark Souls. Make enemies that feel like they are watching my finger movements. Fuck it. Make the AI. You guys remember when you used to play games in like early 2000s, 90s? And you always said like, man, the computer's cheating. The computer's cheating. It's reading my inputs. Make the game read my inputs. Give me an enemy that reads my fucking, when I feel like I'm mashing dodge and he knows it. Oh yeah, you gonna dodge right here, bro. I'm about to clap your shit. I want that. Put it in the game. Put it in the game. Do it. I want it. That's how difficult I want Wuthering Waves to be my difficult game. Now, that doesn't make the combat better. I said it before and I'll say it again. Wuthering has great combat concepts that are useless. Juggling the enemy in Wuthering Waves serves me no purpose outside of CC control because of the way the game's in-game is set up. The way the game's end game is set up in Wuthering is either MOC or Tower of Adversity, TOA, where you have a couple of mobs, maybe, and then 1 to 2 elites. And then the second floor is like this big ass boss, right? Or hologram fights, which have no mobs, one big ass boss, and you need to fight the mechanics of that boss, right? Cool. Those are cool. Styling on any of those is punished, not rewarded, which is what I said in my video or on the podcast and in my tweet and in my own video. I said that it's cool. I like looking at it, but I don't want to be punished for styling on whatever the fuck it is that I choose to do. If I were to juggle enemies in Wuthering, and I know this because I spent a week trying to figure out like how to perfect it. I can juggle any mob in Wuthering Waves, and especially with Gian. I can juggle any mob. I can lift them off the ground. I can air combo them. I can DMC style in Wuthering Waves. That shit is tight. I love it. Then the game decides I've been getting juggled too many times. I would like to leave the crowd control. Thank you very much. I'm out. And they leave. Zero reason that I should be able to crowd control an enemy, and then the enemy decides, I don't want to do this no more. Hey, bro, you had me in a tornado a little too long. 0.5 seconds too long. I don't want that. Let me get out of here, bro. I don't want to do that no more. And to make it worse, I'm not gonna like fall out, right? Like, oh yeah, my combo, because you guys are saying combo limit, and I know combo limit because FGC has that concept too, right? You cannot juggle enemies for too long. You're absolutely right. Guess what fighting games don't do? In a combo limit, let's take Skullgirls for instance. When the combo limit happens, fall down. You've hit your combo limit, you fucked up the combo, fall down. You fall. You don't bounce back to what is considered neutral. We call it neutral in the game. You're not gonna bounce back to neutral because the combo limit happened, right? If I'm juggling somebody in Tekken, they don't bounce 50 feet back. Damn, bro, you dropped the combo. All right, I'm a fly backwards, fully ready to go, on my feet and everything. No recovery time, no hard knockdown, no soft knockdown. I'm ready to go, full swing. You still swinging in the air? It's my turn, bitch. That's how Wuthering Waves is. Perfect example of that is literally, and I don't know the girl's name, the one she floats and she puts shield on everybody and she can shoot these orbs at you, and then she has the team with the fucking gunners, right? If she jumps out, they jump out. If they've been in a little too long, she pulls them out. And the worst part is, if you don't put her in CC with the other girls, guess what she does? My daughters are being crowd controlled. I will provide shields. They get shields and then they fly the fuck out. Done. No. I'm not talking about Skullgirls anymore. I'm talking about Wuthering Waves now. I'm talking about Wuthering Waves, guys. I'm talking about the enemies in Wuthering Waves, not Skullgirls. Not Skullgirls. The enemies in Wuthering Waves. They'll fly out. She gives them shields, and then the shield stops the CC. And then hey man, I won't be in CC no more. They fly all the way to the other side of the map. They land on their feet, and they are immediately in prone position to shoot you with the laser. It's fucking stupid. It's the worst enemy design I've ever experienced in any game whatsoever. I've never experienced something as dumb as that. It's fucking stupid. And there's so many more of those in the game that don't need to be there. So when you guys are complaining, I saw the complaints too. Hey man, it feels like if you don't have Jianshin, Tower of Adversity is so hard. It feels like she's a must pull now. Why do y'all think that is? Because she has the fucking Tai Chi orb that sucks everybody in, but it's like CC, but it's not enough CC to lift them off the ground. So it's just pulling them in, and then if they get too close, they get lifted off the ground. Now I get my combo, right? Now I get my reward. I need multiple copies of an S rank character, right? To get whatever crowd control this is. No, I should, whatever crowd control I have, make that bitch crowd control. Do we have freeze in the game? Not really. It don't really work like that. That's crazy. We got a nice character, no freeze. But yeah, no ice character, no freeze. The combat is great. The game, and this is, like I said, this is what I meant when I explained it, and like idiots on Twitter didn't get it. It punishes you for trying to style on the enemy. There's no point for me to I stopped doing it. There's no point for me to play the game with style, to stylize combos, to do juggles. It's only cool is that's literally the training move. They're calling people like, oh yeah, man, Zenless, they don't fight back. It's just basically a fucking training dummy. You're practicing on a training dummy. Wuthering, I'm practicing on a training dummy. There's Wuthering, I don't even need to practice combos. I had to admit defeat when it came to Wuthering Waves. I don't like doing that. Wuthering, there's no purpose for the advanced combos that I would have came up with. For instance, with Gian, right? I know some of you guys might have seen the tweet, but with Gian, you have Gian and he does his the spears, and then you Kara cancel it, so he lifts them up, but he's still on the ground, and then you negative edge, so he's still doing the spear move, right? You slide into the next character with the switch, and then they do whatever they want. They set up the field, they get a little bit of energy, and they put something on the field like a tornado, or maybe Mortefi's like fire stuff, right? You go back into Gian, you finish the combo, phew, you do the dash, right? Then you hit him back down, boom. Then you dash with him, dive kick down with him, right? But before you dive kick with him, swap back into the next character. Boom, set the next character up. Then you dive back down. What I'm doing is building meter for my entire team. I'm building concerto gauge for my entire team. I'm repositioning myself and the enemy to be in a more favorable position for me, so that by the time I land on the ground, hey, bro, you about to get I'm popping Yang Yang's ult. She gonna get her outro skill. I'm popping Mortefi's ult. He gonna get his outro skill. I'm going to Gian. We gonna pop ult into skill. You getting burned, spear chucked. I'm getting energy back at the same time. And there's still a big ass tornado on the field. Now tell me the reason that I should be doing that in Wuthering Waves. For what reason should I be doing that at any point in time in Wuthering Waves? You shouldn't, exactly. There's no point. Then when you look at people's guides or you look at how they're playing, smash, basic attack, do skill, intro, outro. Smash, basic attack, do skill, intro, outro. Smash, basic attack, ult, do skill, intro, outro. Go back into DPS, do fucking ult. So cool. Kawaii Desune. I had a great time. So awesome. Now see, AJ, now we get into the argument. Why would I do combos when I can mash in Zenless? The same argument can be made. Now hear exactly what I said at the beginning of that argument. Wuthering punishes you for stylizing. Zenless does not. I also want to defeat 2 with 1. First of all, AJ, I'm not too sure how far you are in Zenless if you're playing Zenless at all. You cannot mash in Zenless. The amount of people that keep saying this dumbass shit, not you, AJ, are fucking stupid. The people that are telling you that you can mash your account level 32, get on the game right now. Pop it right now. Go into Shiyu defense and do exactly what Rihu did. I will even open the call. I want you to blindfold yourself, and I want you to mash, square, and dodge. I want you to just mash it in Shiyu defense. The highest floor you can get to. The highest floor you can get to. I want you to mash just to prove the point. Not no Shiyu defense floor 1 either. 32, what Sarah, what Shiyu defense should he be at level 32? That's like what, Shiyu floor 7? He should be at floor 7, right? Around level 32. Floor 6? We gonna need you to get to 7, big dog. We gonna need you to get to 7. I want to see 7, because 7's not even in game, nowhere close to in game. But that's where the double teams start. I want to see 7. That's how that works. You cannot mash in Zenless. Your mashing is in story mode. People are mashing in chapter 0, prologue 1. Of course, you can mash in story mode. Of course, you can mash in chapter 1, where nothing is trying to kill you, where the game is still trying to teach you how to be a game. We're in month 1 of the game, and people are expecting Dark Souls 1 final boss. For what? What do I need that for? Why do I need that? You know, we haven't even had a whole week of the game. And we're just sitting, hey, yo, man, you know what? I think I need a Dark Souls enemy in the game.